So welcome to a new series of the Challenge to Change podcast. The Challenge to Change podcast is now part of the Cheshire East family. Thank you so much for taking time to listen or watch if you're watching on YouTube. Let's get into the podcast episode. As you can see, if you're watching us on YouTube, I'm here with my colleague, Matthew Williams, who is going to share some really interesting statistics about the recycling that we collect here in Cheshire East, and also the size of the vehicles that we use to collect waste and recycling here in Cheshire East. So hello, Matthew. How are you today?
I'm really good, thanks, Hazel. How are you?
I'm really good as well. Awesome. So tell me then that these interesting statistics I'm sure people will want to know all about.
Yeah, so Cheshire East, the average collection of recycling a week is between 700 and 800 tonnes.
Wow.
That's a lot, isn't it?
It's a heck of a lot. It's kind of hard to picture, really, to be honest. Yeah, amazing. I think you had some vehicle statistics as well there, I believe.
Yeah, there's three different size vehicles that are used according to what the route dictates and access and stuff like that. So the smaller one can collect 1.6 tonnes.
Right.
The next size up can collect 4.8 tonnes, and then the larger one can collect 10.8 tonnes
Wow.
in one collection.
That's it. It's impressive. It's a lot, isn't it? It is a lot. And I think when we have got some images to show people. So if you are watching us on YouTube, you will get to see those images. For people listening to the podcast, Matthew and I will do our best to describe what the people over on YouTube are looking at. So you've got sort of a good sense of what's there. But that will kind of give people an idea of the capacity of the recycling that we're talking about as well. So should we have a look at those images?
Yep.
Let's do that. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see that. Okay, I think they probably can. So obviously we're looking here at recycling, although I say obviously it probably doesn't really look that much like recycling. I mean, here in Cheshire East, you can put what we describe as the big five into your recycle bin. I'm going to test you, Matthew. Can you remember what that big five is?
Yep. So cardboard and paper, glass bottles. Please give it a rinse. Please give it a swirl before you do. Aluminium cans can go in, and tin cans if they've had food in. So if the tin cans had paint in or varnish or an engine oil treatment, something like that, please take that to the recycling centre. So what have we done? Glass, paper and card, cans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We've got
paper.
what? Glass, paper, card, tin foil can go in. Obviously, that comes under the kind of like metal category. Of course, it does need to be free of food contamination. What else have we got? Squash plastic. We mentioned squashable plastic.
We haven't. So
No.
squashable plastic, something like your water bottle. If you bought water in, and you can squash it. The bottom of what your bacon might come in, not the top, not the film. The punnets, so what your strawberries or your blueberries are coming.
Yeah.
And in fact, something apparently in the UK we're not very good at recycling at the moment. Generally, is bathroom product bottles.
Right. Okay.
So your shampoo and
That's
that
a
kind
good
of
one.
stuff.
Yeah.
The thinking is that we dump that in the bathroom bin and doesn't make it down to recycling, so that can go in.
Interesting.
So we
Yeah.
got glass, aluminium, card, squashy plastic. And we're missing one, Hazel.
Paper. That's always a tricky one because I guess because card and paper come from the same they come from a tree or so yeah, it was always a tricky one, but yeah, card and paper, they can go in. And as you already mentioned, they do need to be free of contamination, and we tend to think of contamination as being food, but also contamination includes, so if you are doing like shampoos, conditioners, that kind of thing, it does need to be free of shampoo and conditioner. So you need to give them a rinse before they go into the recycle bin. They also need to be pretty much dry as well. So we don't want lots of wet recycling. And the reason for that is that soggy cardboard It's very difficult to recycle soggy cardboard. And as you can see, looking at that image there, I'm pretty sure there's some soggy cardboard in there. So we do want it to be dry, we do want it to be clean, and also significantly, we want it to be loose. So don't put it in a bag. And the reason for that is it makes it easier for that sorting process. But also, if you have it in a tied bag, there could be some contamination hiding in there. It may not even contain recycling. So that's why we want it to also be loose. So there you go. But yeah, thank you for sharing those five items there. That's brilliant. So let's have a look at some more images. So I mean, again, that does kind of give people an idea of the volumes of recycling that we deal with at the waste transfer station. I think that's just possibly just one load, just one tip. I'm fairly sure that it's just one tip. But there's a lot in there, and I can kind of see from here. I don't know if you can, Matthew, but there's definitely some things that shouldn't be in there. I'm fairly sure down here we've got a crisp packet, so that can't go into your recycle bin. Some supermarkets will take crisp packets for recycling, but you can't put them into your recycle bin. So if you're not going to take them to the supermarket, you need to put crisp packets in your black household waste bin. Can you spot any other items of contamination in there, Matthew? Difficult, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's quite small on my screen, actually.
Yeah. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Maybe a bag, like a canvas bag or something like that. It looks like it is. So again, that would
Yeah.
be, if that is the case, that would be a problem. Right, let's look at another picture. So we've got a lovely picture there of one of our waste transfer station operatives holding a very pretty handbag. And of course, you can donate something like that. You can put it on a community recycling app. You can even maybe sell a handbag, but what you can't do is put it into your recycle bin because it isn't one of those that big five that we'd already mentioned. It can't be recycled in that way. So you can recycle it, but not through your silver recycling bin. Let's have a look, see what we've got next. There's another very it's a huge pile of recycling, and it doesn't, from here it really doesn't look like recycling at all, but I think that there are things in there that should be. That looks like maybe a carpet or something like that at the top. I'm not too sure, but if it is a carpet, of course that can't go in. Can you spot any tricky items there, Matthew? Just going to move it down, see if you can see anything. Got some
Well,
glass bottles in there, which are good. They can go in.
just above the glass bottles at the bottom, that looks like the back of a carpet or something. Yeah, that's it
Yes,
there.
it does, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah, that again, obviously, of course, something like that would need to go to a household waste recycling centre. If you've got carpet that is in good condition, you might be able to offer it on a community recycling app. But I guess the strongest likelihood is that it wouldn't be in good condition, in which case household waste recycling centre. Is that like a medicine, the things that have the tablets in it? Looks
Blister
like it
pack.
there. A
Yeah.
blister pack, that's the correct term. So they can be recycled at some pharmacies. You can take them to some pharmacies. If you pop onto the Recycle Now website, that should give you some options for recycling those, but alternatively, they would need to go into Black House waste bin. So let's have a look, see what we've got next. Oh, this is a pretty one, but still contamination. It's pretty contamination, but it's contamination nonetheless. So what bin should we be putting that one in, Matthew? Definitely not the recycle bin.
Yeah. Black bin.
Definitely black bin. Yeah, if you can't reuse it in some way, I don't know, for maybe a craft project or something like that. But yeah, definitely black bin for that one. Definitely not in the silver recycling bin. Oh, another interesting item there. So this one, of course, is an electrical item. It's solar powered lights. So for something like this, there's various options to kind of recycle it. If it's still working, some charity shops might be able to take it, but check before you donate. You can pop onto the Recycle Your Electricals website for other recycling options. What you cannot do is put an item like that into any of your bins because it's an electronic item. So if a charity shop that sells working electrical items isn't an option, if the Recycle Your Electricals website isn't something you want to look at, then it's a household waste site, household waste recycling centre rather, for an item like that.
Batteries in general, and the battery that will be associated with the solar panel of that, the lithium in them can actually start a fire. So if that gets damaged in the compaction when it's put into the vehicle, that can start a fire. So obviously, if we're thinking of 10.8 tons of something that's quite flammable, if that's in a residential area as people are getting to school or whatever, that's
It's a
definitely
huge
something we
problem.
want to avoid.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I think for a lot of people, it's just, it is just sort of perhaps they're not aware that that can happen, but you're absolutely right. It is a fire hazard. And thank you for highlighting that, Matthew, most definitely. Okay, so we've got here, what are we looking at here? I think a laptop, I think, possibly another electrical item there, maybe a remote control, a charger, and a laptop bag. So yeah, so with something like this, it's the same thing applies. That there is that fire risk there. Obviously, a laptop contains a battery, quite a large battery, really. So if it's a working electrical item, once you've kind of removed all of your kind of if you've got photographs on there or like kind of any personal details, once you've kind of made it kind of clear of all of that, and there is information on how to do that on the Recycle Your Electricals website. If it's working, it could probably go to some charity shops. Some charity shops do accept electrical items. Of course, check before you donate. And the Recycle Your Electricals website, not only does it tell you how to clear these items of personal details, it also tells you how to recycle them. Some electrical retailers will take items like this back. And the laptop bag, assuming it was clean, not like that one, of course, might have been clean when it went into the recycle bin, but it's certainly not clean now. So if it was clean and still usable, again, you could donate that to a charity shop, maybe offer it on a community recycling app. But definitely don't put electrical items into any of your bins. And with a laptop bag, that can't go into your silver recycling bin. You could put the laptop bag in your black household waste bin, but not, of course, the electrical item. So, yeah, right, okay. Do you like to talk about this image that we have here, Matthew?
Is it a grill? Is it a microwave? I can't
think
quite
it's
tell.
I think it's a grill, yeah. And it looks like it's new. I mean, it may be that it looks like it's new because it's still wrapped in polystyrene and a cardboard box.
Yeah, it does.
Um,
It has been incredibly well packaged, hasn't it?
it's been
Uh,
really well packaged, yeah. It's kept it very comfortable. But yeah.
getting
So what
so
what should we
get
do with that?
getting straight to it. Please do not put this in your silver bin, and please do not put this in your black bin. So take it
Absolutely.
to a recycling centre.
Yeah.
But yes, please don't put that in your recycling.
No. I mean, it looks quite large. I mean, it's difficult to tell from the picture, but it looks quite large. So I'm not, it looks like it's a miracle that someone's managed to fit that in their silver recycling bin, but somehow they have. Of course, the cardboard box itself, the cardboard box could go in the silver recycling bin. The polystyrene would need to go into the black household waste bin. So you've literally got three different items there. Another option is having a look on that Recycle Your Electricals website for other recycling options, because some electrical retailers will take items back, and also charity shops as well. Some charity shops do sell electrical items, not all, so check before you donate. Right then. This is another interesting one. Now, I think this is a wardrobe cover, probably made out of maybe canvas or plastic. So people might think, oh, it's plastic, it can go in the recycle bin, but no, that would be incorrect. It's not the type of plastic. It's a mixed material for one thing. So there's more than one material involved with that particular product there. So it can't go in your silver recycling bin. So where would we put that one, Matthew? What would be the correct place for that one?
I can't quite tell the dimensions of it, so if you could get that uh, scrunched up fairly small, that could go in your black bin.
Yeah,
If it's a larger item, then take it
yeah.
to your recycling centre.
Absolutely. And if it was clean, still usable, still a saleable item, then a charity shop could take it. I mean, looking at that one there, it's obviously quite dirty, but the reason it most likely dirty is because it's actually it's been mixed with other materials within the recycling, and as we've seen, sometimes recycling does have contamination in there. But before it went into the bin, it may be that it was suitable to be donated at a charity shop, but always check before you donate. Right then, this is another interesting one. So I know from the description that our colleague put on this image, it's actually brand new hair curling tongs, if that's the correct term. I don't know what they're I don't know what they're called these days. Still in the box as well. So again, it's an electrical item. It can't go into any of your bins. It's new, so presumably it's working. Some charity shops will take it, so you could donate it. Probably not within the box by the looks of things, because the box is a little bit obviously
Wired.
it's got look yes, it's looking a little bit tired, that box. The cardboard box could go in the recycle bin, so long as it is just cardboard and it doesn't have sort of embossing and that kind of thing on there, or I don't know, glitter or something, which it probably wouldn't. But yeah, those curling tongs, if I've got the correct hairstyling product, electrical hairstyling product, we'll call it that. Yeah, recycle your electricals website, charity shops, if they sell products like that, check before you donate, household waste recycling centre, or you could offer it on a community recycling app. I'm sure there's lots of people that would appreciate a a as new hair product of that kind, no doubt. Definitely not your recycle bin. Right then, so what have we
Is,
got here? So
is
this
that
is
a child's play area or a
yeah,
cot, maybe?
it's either a cot or a
Cot.
playpen. I think it's a travel cot. It's a travel cot. I
Oh, okay.
remember my daughter had one like that. So obviously looking a little bit squashed now, as it's gone through, most likely through the machinery in the waste collection vehicle. It's got a little bit squashed during that process. Those are usually quite large as well. So I don't know whether it's been perhaps squashed down to fit it in to the recycle bin, but as you might have guessed, for people watching and listening, definitely don't put that in your recycle bin. Don't put it in your black household waste bin either, because it's really far too large for that. So, household waste recycling centre. If it's in good working condition, you could donate it to a charity shop. You could also offer it on a community recycling app. So none of your bins for that one. Um, yeah. Right then, what have we got here? I think this is electrical.
Electrical trunking.
Yeah, electrical trunking. Um, yeah, really the only place that could go is a household waste recycling centre. So I think these are all children and baby items. So we've got a training potty there, quite a large one by the looks of things. If it was clean and usable, you could donate it to a charity shop. You could offer it on a community recycling app. That doesn't look particularly clean. So I think for that one, it would need to go to a household waste recycling centre. The other items, not too sure what they are, Matthew. Any thoughts?
Is that another carry cot but just folded up in the bag?
Possibly, yeah,
I'm not sure at the
possibly.
bottom. I can't quite tell what that might be.
No, I mean, none of these things are suitable for your silver recycling bin, so none of those things should have gone in there. Anything that's in good working order and it's clean and saleable, a charity shop is a good option, but always check before you donate and don't leave it outside the shop either. That causes a big problem for charity shops. So don't just sort of leave it outside the door, unless they have a facility set up for doing that. Don't just leave it outside the door. So check that they can receive the item that you're offering them. But for all of these things, if they're clean, damaged, not usable, household waste recycling centre. The smaller things, they could probably go in the black household waste bin. I'm not too sure. I don't know what they are. They look like maybe toys. If they're not electronic toys, they could go into your black bin. But for the larger things, yeah, household waste recycling centre.
On the larger things, what about
Yeah,
Facebook Marketplace? I mean,
yeah,
it
yeah.
that those things look a bit tired, but it could be that they've only got that dirty as they've been mixed around
True, true,
in the
true.
truck. So it
Yeah,
might be if someone's going to throw them, offer them for free on Facebook
yeah.
Marketplace if
That's
they're in
another
okay
option.
condition, or it might even
Yeah.
be you could get a couple of quid for these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, they maybe only look like that now because they've been through that process. They could have looked pretty sort of, in pretty good working order or reasonable, reasonably okay. So absolutely, that's definitely an option. Right then. Okay, so we've got an array of different things here in this image.
A vacuum
Um,
cleaner, a mini
Vacuum cleaner.
fridge,
Mm,
three different printers, two different printers.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure what the gold thing is.
No, I'm not sure what the gold thing is either. That long gold thing, is that like a pen? Some
I
kind
don't
of
know.
pen? I don't know. But for all of the electrical items, it's, as we've said already, good working order. Some charity shops will accept them. Check before you donate. Look on the Recycle Your Electricals website for options. As you've mentioned, Matthew, Facebook Marketplace, other types of community recycling apps. I'm trying to think of some examples like Freegal, FreeCycle, Olio was another one. So there's various different places, that you can put things like that if they're in good working order. But definitely don't put electrical items into any of your bins if they're not working. Recycle Your Electricals website for options because there are electrical retailers that will take these back. And then, of course, we've got the Household Waste Recycling Centre. If that is a gold pen, that could go into your black household waste bin. Not too sure. I agree with you, Matthew. I don't really know what the other things are, but nothing in that image looks suitable for the silver recycling bin. I think there might be some cardboard covering up whatever that is. So, of course, cardboard can go into the silver recycling bin if it's not
I wonder if that
contaminated.
gold thing is actually a light fitting that's got squashed. That's my best guess.
Yeah, yeah. Light fitting, I think you're right. So, a light fitting household waste
In,
recycling centre, really.
yeah.
Yeah. Don't know what this is here. Like a bit of, I don't know, string, but yeah. Okay. So we've zoomed in on this item. So that there is an electrical item in there. So we've got some cardboard here surrounding it. Cardboard, if it's not contaminated with grease, food, or whatever, that can go in the recycle bin. But the contents, that electrical item, is, as we've already said, household waste recycling centre. If it's in good working order, some charity shops can receive electrical items. And also, you can look on the Recycle Your Electricals website. Definitely don't put it in your bin. Right. Okay. Got some. So I think these are, if memory serves, these are battery powered toys, aren't they? Um, so the same thing applies. Good working order, charity shop, check before you donate. Um, Again, obviously, community recycling app if it's in good working order. Even if they're not pristine, we can't sort of presume what other people will be happy to receive if it's free. If it works, it doesn't have to look like brand new. like as you said before, Facebook Marketplace, offered for free. For some things as well, you could even sell them if they're in good working order. I mean, it looks pretty pristine, doesn't it? Both of them do, actually. It's a real shame that they've ended up in the silver recycling bin. What's this one, Matthew? What we're looking at? Is that
I think it's
garden hose?
two garden hoses.
Right
Um,
then. So yeah,
the mixed materials of so I can understand if someone's thought it's plastic, it can be recycled. I kind of get that, but they normally got like a nylon mesh in it for the strength, haven't they? So
yeah,
yeah, that's not a plastic that we recycle, so it can't go in
yeah,
your silver bin.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And I
so
think yeah, but for a small amount, I think you could, but for that looks like quite a large amount. So I think you have to be a household waste recycling centre for that, really.
yeah,
I think, is that a light?
a light fitting. Okay,
Yeah. So
again, it might have been in good condition, mightn't it, when it was first popped
maybe,
in and got squashed in the process in the vehicle, but
maybe, yeah,
yeah, not one for the silver grey bin. It's just
definitely
because of
not.
the different mix of materials, so it looks like it's got some kind of card or hardboard there, than the brown
Yeah, it
material on
does.
it and the wire framing. So
Absolutely.
recycling centre.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, if it was in good working order before it went into the bin, you could donate it. You could offer it on those community recycling options that we've already mentioned. This appears to be a bag of some sort.
Is it a ground
Um,
sheet or a tent or
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
um,
So some sports kind of camping type retailers will take back items like that. If you have a look online for options, if it's in good working order, you could donate it to a charity shop, offer it on all of any of those community recycling options that we've mentioned. Failing that, um, household waste recycling centre. I think we have come to the end of our pictures. Yes, we have. Right. So we had quite an array of different types of items, didn't we, there? Um, you know, in some cases, you can kind of see why people might think this would be suitable for the recycle bin, but in other cases, it's a bit of a kind of mystery as to why the people would actually put that in there. But yeah, I mean, I think it's also worth noting that, we always appreciate the residents of Cheshire East for doing their best to recycle, and for doing their best to kind of get the right things into the bin. And sometimes the reason that people put the wrong things in is because they're wish cycling. So they want it to be recycled to such an extent that they want to pop it in their recycle bin. But unfortunately, wish cycling does lead to contamination. Yeah, definitely.
shall we recap something you've taught me today, the big five? So if we recap that, it's
Let's do it.
card, paper, glass, tins, tins if they've had food in. If it's paint or an oil treatment or varnish, then can't go in your recycling bin. And I think that leaves me glass. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's the items and the materials that we do want in your
Yeah,
silver grey bin.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And as you say, you've mentioned there obviously tins of paint. So tins of paint would need to go to a household waste recycling centre, of course, not into your bins. So do take those to the household waste recycling centre. If there's still paint in there, sometimes there are community projects that will, if you've still got paint left over, but you simply don't need it. So if you have a look online for I'm trying to think what they're called, community paint projects, I think. There are some that exist sort of locally or local-ish, so you can do that as well as an option if there's still paint in there. Obviously, if that's not an option or there's no paint in there, household waste recycling centre.
Hazel was talking about paint and yeah, brilliant. Are they called community scrap shacks? Places that people, hobbyists and stuff, if they've got bits left over, they will take and pass on and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Hazel also mentioned Wishcycling, so people want their paint tins to be recycled. That's brilliant, but if you take it to the recycling centre, they will make safe and process the chemicals that have been inside, and
Yeah,
then it will be recycled. So that's why we want it to go there. It's not safe to go into the silver bin. Uh,
absolutely.
on the theme of safety, batteries. So batteries
Yeah,
themselves, or anything with a battery in, it is it's the science, it's the nature of it. It's sadly it happens. We don't want them to go into the vehicles because they can start a fire.
yeah,
And from the tonnages that we shared earlier, that much dry material, that's very
mm,
easy to catch.
yeah.
That's the situation we want to avoid at all costs.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much for that, Matthew. I know, as you've said, we have had fires in the transfer station. Of course, we do have facilities in there to deal with those fires very, very swiftly. And we have had fires in waste collection vehicles as well. But actually, that happens all over the UK, all over the world. So, it's not just a problem here in Cheshire East, it's a problem everywhere.
Anywhere that sells batteries should have a tub for you to be able to pop your batteries
Yes.
in. So supermarkets is an obvious one. So wherever you go to buy your groceries, they normally have some kind of tub at the front of the store. Larger
Yeah.
batteries if you take to the recycling centre.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Matthew. It's been wonderful talking to you as ever, and even more wonderful talking to you here on this podcast episode. So I really appreciate it. And I'm sure that people listening and watching will find all the information that we've shared really, really useful.